that. What's that kind of time, you know? So really just trying to be mindful that they have a life outside of therapy, and as much as you can do to take their exercises and make them, weave them into their life, into their everyday activities, so they can feel confident that they're doing all that they can to help improve their condition, and not feel guilty because they didn't do the exercises and perhaps they're hurting their chances for improving.
And I think particularly you look at folks that have fatigue issues, all those exercises can just be too much. So when they come into therapy and they're like, gosh, I'm so exhausted, I had to do all the exercises this morning before I even came here. It's really important to be mindful of that and monitoring fatigue with some of these medical challenges. PLS is a great one. You really got to monitor the fatigue level, Karen. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think the other novice mistake, and I've done it myself, and new PTs do it, they think every treatment they have to add a new exercise. There's something about us and exercise. We almost feel guilty if we don't give somebody a new exercise. And it's like, no, I mean, and I've learned, you can review the exercises and just tweak them a bit. And clients love that feedback. Don't assume they know their exercise is perfect. I mean, the PT tells you they do, that's great, but review, tweak them, make them more functional, just change them a little bit, make sure that instruction is clear. So they have those 5 exercises. I like the number 5. Sometimes it creeps up into 10 or 12 with some of your ankle folks that are orthopedic, but I think neuro, I like 5 or 6 to do really, really well. Sit to stance, real functional type things that they're going to use every day versus the traditional straight leg raises, ankle locks, which are good. But
That's right, the other place. Does anybody have any questions for Karen? Any questions for the students? Any requests?
any pearls of wisdom, you shared so many.
Oh, I have a question. It's like, why do you want to do this? Anyone?
I want to help people.
I previously received physical therapy, which when you're young you don't really pay attention, but as you get older you see how much you can improve yourself just by your own movements that you didn't know. All it has to be is somebody, I mean, you don't need any tools and your body can heal itself.
Yeah. Addendum to that, I want to help people help themselves.
That's
And I see physical therapy as being very empowering to people because they can actually take a lot, do a lot for themselves.
And gaining dependency.
That's amazing what you can do for people. It really is amazing. So I think that's wonderful. I just, but sometimes, it's either something's happened to you or a family member, or you've just, maybe observed or something like that. So it's wonderful. And
May I
we
ask you
need
a
a lot.
question? May I ask you a question?
Well,
yes. You seem to be so positive and so upbeat and face so many challenges. What specific strategies have you used to keep your attitude positive so that maybe we can help pass that on to our, use it ourselves and pass it on to patients?
I think part of mine is just personally, I started out with some situations when I was younger, so I've kind of learned to be a survivor. But I just have always thought that attitude is so important. And if you believe you can do it, and some things you don't have the control over, you just take each day. And sometimes it takes people a long time to figure out what they mean when they say stop and smell the roses. Primarily attitude. And then I've also done some therapies, learning how to, breathing and some meditation and things of that sort too. Active.
Karen, has your cancer impacted your PLS at all? Like, have you seen the cancer changing the way that your physical body?
I believe definitely with the drugs. When after my first treatment, the thing was, you can go home when you can be up and walking and doing all that. I was trying to get out of that bed the minute they put me in my little bubble room. And I was up and I was walking fairly quickly, and I think they were kind of impressed actually. The second one, just trying to get out of the bed, I was starting to lose my balance, and going for the treatments down the hall and stuff like that. I either had to hang on to the wall, somebody, and they kept saying, let's get a wheelchair, of course. Well, let me try it. But, yeah, I think the drugs somehow. And then I know when they've been doing some testing, they couldn't, before it seemed like I was doing pretty well, and then after the second one, it was like they could get hardly any reaction at all, you know, from the nerves and things in my leg, and it's just now starting to come back pretty good again. And the transplant was just a year ago, the 3rd of September, so.
Yeah, neuropathies are not uncommon with cancer treatment. So the cancer may be gone, but folks can be left with some pretty debilitating pain as a result of the side effects of using the big gun chemotherapy drugs. So, you know, folks may have pain or changes in how they can use their limbs, not necessarily neurologically, but systemically, because the chemo drugs can affect the nervous system in a way that gives them neuropathy pain.
And my balance is really a lot worse this round. I was chasing an animal out of my yard and to throw a rock, because you just don't think sometimes, and I've got to stop and learn to think sometimes first. Threw the rock and I was back on my back just like that. And then again with the nerves and things on my feet, there was one of the times that I was barefooted and I was just going outside to the empty garbage, and somehow one of those rocks hit a nerve and I was down like that. And it's just don't know what's going to happen. A new adventure.
I gotta put on shoes. I gotta put on shoes. Yeah.
And the neighbors get a kick. They'll see me crawling across the yard once in a while to grab a tree to get back up again if I'm out doing yard work.
You're ratting yourself out. Not that I condone hucking objects at animals, but we could work on that as a functional activity. All right, well, I want to thank Karen for taking the time to come here, particularly on the first day of class. And you're also you're volunteering for some other instructional activity, right? Didn't you?
Yeah.
For a DPT student. Yeah, so she's doing a gait analysis for a student from Pacific, and it's great when we get somebody who's willing to take the time to come speak to you folks and kind of put their body on display and share their personal business with you. It's a gift to get that in an instructional setting, and it's just, for me, it's so much more meaningful for the students to have you come and be willing to demonstrate some of those things. So thank you very much.
And thank you.
I enjoyed it. So we're going to take a break now, I think. We have about 25